Any public input tonight? Okay, Justin, come on down.
Hi there, everybody.
Hi.
This is just a couple of reports on our local museums and what they're going to be doing the next little while. We have an event coming up on March 21st at 7 p.m. at the Wheatfield Community Center, Church Road there. This is called Time Capsule in Your Backyard. It's the next event for the Historical Society of North German Settlements, or the Das Haus Museum. Peter Jablonski will display and discuss articles of the past found while digging, believe it or not, in privies or outhouses of the old world, well, if you will. Back then, there was no regular garbage pickup, and so essentially whatever was dumped outside or put into piles along the back side of the property, that kind of thing, was pretty commonplace. And it has to do with digging in those areas where bottles, stoneware, toys, or coins could be found, and he has had a kind of career doing this. He's going to be presenting what he has found, and there'll be a conversation about other digs like that. So that's going to be this Thursday at 7 p.m. Also, at the Niagara Aerospace Museum down the way, we have Alice Bowman there, and she's coming to, she's from NASA actually, and she is a NASA Mission Operations Manager for the New Horizons mission. This is the mission that went out to was now the dwarf planet of Pluto, and is on its way out of the solar system as we speak. She was part of that mission. She will speak at the museum to share stories of this incredible mission. This event is going on at the Niagara Aerospace Museum, which was the old Niagara Falls International Airport Terminal on Niagara Falls Boulevard. Members of the Aerospace Museum are free. Adults are $8, seniors are $6, active military personnel are $4, and kids between the ages of 5 and 15 are $3. Under 5 is free. This is sponsored by the Niagara Frontier chapter of the AIAA. That's all.
Justin, before you sit down, I'll put you on the hot seat. I was at the Castellini Art Museum this weekend, and I saw your boats on display, and just publicly I want to say I was very impressed with what you've done. I can imagine the hours that you put into, how long was the Edmund Fitzgerald? So maybe you can...
It would be 725 feet.
No, I mean the one that we looked at the art museum.
Well, it's a lot smaller, at 14 feet, but pretty big to store when you get it home. Comes in 4 pieces, though.
If anybody had the opportunity to see those ships and boats on display, I walked in and I was just blown away with what you've done.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Don't call me sir. Thanks.
No officialdom.
Okay.
And as a side note, by the way, this exhibition had to do with my 25-year history of shipbuilding, essentially custom-made, imaginative artworks. And actually, this has been the most publicized exhibition in the history of the Castellani Art Museum. And it's in no small part to the people who work there at that gallery. They did a superb job. Also at the Niagara Arts and Cultural Center. I had a thing going on there for a while, too. So they were great institutions, and yeah.
The whole thing was very, very well done. I saw your Christmas list. I was very impressed with that thing.
Oh, way back when.
Duct tape, straws.
Oh, yeah. Colored glue, they don't make those anymore. So, yeah.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you. Or, yeah, that's on the way out.
For the record, all the board members are present with the exception of Randy Retzloff. He had emergency surgery with a detached retina, so he will not be here tonight. Approval of the minutes, March 4, 2019, please.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Bill payment of March 18, 2019, voucher number 201-90255 to 201-90374 with a total amount of $232,177.59. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bills are paid. Department heads. Let's start with Dave Godfrey. No report, Dave?
Our internet project's run along, waiting for the funding. Our lake is rising. We probably want to have flooding, so we're prepared with our sandbags ready. But other than that, tomorrow night at the legislative meeting, I'm going to co-sponsor a resolution to oppose the governor's ban on gun raffles and bake sales. That's the plain.
Great.
I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you. And by the way, Dave is our Niagara County legislator. I didn't say that, did I, Dave?
I never.
No? Okay. Thank you, Dave. Highway Department, Paul Sigmund.
I just want to give you a little bit of an update. March 5th and 6th of this month, me and my fellow highway superintendents in New York State took a ride down to Albany and lobbied there for more money for our CHIPS funding. We're a big part of our funding for paving our roads goes. Hasn't been an increase, I believe, in over 7 years. I was glad to see in the paper, let's hope that the legislature gets their way on the budget because they want to move CHIPS funding from $433 million to $588 million. That would give us hopefully a decent raise in that and give us a little extra money to do some blacktopping. The other thing was the extreme weather recovery was supposed to basically be done this year. We weren't supposed to be getting it. I was told that they're going to try to fight to extend that money too, and that's another $18,000 we get. It all adds up. Every little bit counts. So if you've got any legislators that you know, please call them and tell them, yes, increase the CHIPS funding. And why you want CHIPS funding increased rather than the other things, it's permanent. Once they increase it, they really can't take it away from us. That's why they like to make all these other little extreme weather recoveries, Pave New York. They put them on 3-year plans, 5-year plans, then they can take them away. CHIPS, once it's there, we keep it. And they can't play games with it to try to make it pass something else in the budget later on. So if you know any elected officials in Albany, please call them or send them a note, email, whatever. Tell them, yes, increase the CHIPS funding for our highway departments. That's basically it. We are out patching some big holes. I'm holding off until we get hot patch. I don't like using the cold patch is $100 and something a ton and it doesn't last. We go out, we do the big ones that people call on. If they think your car is going to get damaged by it, we will do that, put temporary patch in it, but we'd rather wait and use hot patch when they start making it out of the factory. That makes a more permanent fix, and it's just a better way of doing it, and it's a lot less expensive. It's $60 a ton versus $100 and something a ton for something that's temporary. Hopefully, we're done with the snow for the year. We had snow today, so that's our snow by St. Patrick's Day. I'm hoping. Otherwise, we made it through pretty good this winter. We went through a lot of salt, more than what we normally do, but that's the nature of the beast.
You and every other town.
Yeah, it's everybody said we didn't get that much snow this year. They don't realize we got a bunch of little storms. We'd get 6 inches, it would melt. It didn't really pile up to where we had feet sitting on the side of the road. And we had 3 ice events. The ice events are horrible. A snowstorm, plow them off, salt them down, and they melt off, they're good. Ice storms, they have to stay out and just constantly salt because the ice just keeps reforming. Instead of going out once salting, sometimes we're out 4 and 5 times in a 24-hour period. So that's what costs you some money when it comes to the salting. Besides, we got the chipper out now. It's not on a regular basis because if it snows out, I'm taking it back off the road. But because of the wind events we had, I want the guys to get a little bit of a jump start on it so we're not behind on it. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Boy, did we get wind this year, huh?
Yeah.
Richie Donner.
Good evening, folks. Just like to report that this past week, myself, my deputy, and my 3 operators went out to Dig Safely conference and sat through it. We are now, myself, my deputy, and my 3 operators are all certified operators through Dig Safely New York. This is going to come into place starting in May because Governor Cuomo has put in legislation that you have to be a certified operator in order to dig anything up. So for us repairing water sewer leaks, we had to be certified. Paul got a hold of me a little bit late. The County Highway Association is putting on a seminar to do the same thing for all their people in the water and sewer folks, but I had already signed us up and registered, and I'm gonna send a couple of my other guys when the county puts it on, a presentation to do it, so that anybody, in case all my guys are off on vacation or out sick or something, if the backup people have to operate, they'll also be certified, so. Other than that, we're just doing the same things out. We've started doing some repairs on shut-offs and valves around town, so you'll see the guys out digging now.
Thanks, Rich. I thought you looked at that.
Think
All
so?
that education.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rich. Okay, we have Mike Rinaldi, Recreation Director.
Last week of baseball, softball registrations after Friday will be a late fee. No excuses. We've been open since January 2nd. First day of summer camp registration was this morning. First hour we had 20 kids signed up. By the end of the day we had 35 signed up full-time all 8 weeks. So we'll probably be fully booked by the end of the week. Per Niagara County Health Department, 60. We're already halfway there, so that's exciting. It's a testament to the program, and it's something that we're very proud of. I also wanted to thank Paul Sigmund and his crew, Highway Department. They finished off the rest of our ash trees over at Fairmount Park. All 75, about, trees.
Are we gonna replant any trees over there?
Yes, probably like an evergreen or a pine, something low maintenance that'll grow quick. 3 days of work at the most. Yeah, 75 trees in 3 days.
Yeah.
So
Nice
they
job.
really crushed it.
Yeah, that's great.
So we appreciate it, Paul. Thank
Did you try your new saw over there, Paul? Yeah. Okay.
That's all. I'll tell you what, like you could have drew it. The guy dropping them could have drawn an X on the ground, and they would have dropped it right on the X.
I got to tell you, years ago I used to be on the tree cutting crew, and it was over at Fairmount Park. And right at the corner of Stieg and Nash Road, there was this huge tree, and we had an old fellow that was part of our crew. Maybe some of you guys remember him. His name was Paul Stang. So he took we used to bet on where the tree was going to fall. So he walked over, he was making an orange circle with an X on it in the middle of the road, and the tree fell right on top of him. And I mean, this tree was huge, and it missed him on both sides like this, and you turn around, his glasses were all going off. But I still remember that day, and I think he won the bet, but it was just something I remembered about dropping trees. You got to be careful at times. But thank you, Paul, for your efforts, and thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Mike Clark, Building Inspector. Welcome back, Mike.
Thank you very much. And who would have thought I was missed this? But I love, I missed you guys. So, and I have nothing new to report at this point, but a lot of thank yous, especially for my crew. Between Lou, Fran, and Brian, they kept up with it. They only bothered me occasionally. And Mr. Supervisor, you helped keep those guys.
When they weren't
straight.
bothering you, they were
When they
bothering
were.
me.
Well, I appreciate you taking all the calls, and I thank everybody that the well wishes I got while I was off was awesome. So I got nothing new other than say thank you for welcoming me back.
Welcome back, and stay healthy, huh? Thank you, Mike.
Anything else, guys?
Anybody else?
Thanks.
Is Bridget here tonight? Oh, there you are. Your dark coat. I didn't see her there, Bridget. Hi, Bridget.
Good evening. We are done taking exemptions and working on getting the tentative roll ready to go to Niagara County.
Great.
That's it.
Okay. Anybody else for Bridget? Thank you, Bridget. Appreciate it. Constable.
Yeah, just a couple of things. We'll be patrols will start to pick up more. The weather's breaking now that we're not doing overnight parking, so we'll be out. Now's the time to get in your house checks. You're going to be away on vacation, away for a period of time. I believe Kathy will help you with that. Get the form, fill out the form, it'll give it to us, and we'll make the house checks. We'll be around. It's a pretty detailed sheet. We'll be checking, you say there's a car in the driveway, there's only supposed to be one, we'll make sure there's only one. If we see anything out of normal, we're gonna report it, check it out, call, Nair County Sheriff's, and there's, contact numbers, and we'll call you if there's an issue. So, it's good that we're out there doing it. It's a big, there's a mistake a lot of people make, and I make it myself. As soon as you go on vacation and you get to a beach somewhere, what's the first thing you do? You take a picture and put it on social media and say, this is where I'll be for the next week. So you just told everybody you're gone for a week, on your social media site. So, we'll be out there, and like I said, it's a thing the town provides, which, take advantage of it. Besides that, I know Paulie appreciates the help with the brush, but there is a burn ban in place. DEC has a burn ban in New York State, all of New York State, for starting last Saturday, the 16th, to May 14th. So there's no burning, residential brush burning,
Can I ask why,
prohibited.
what the purpose of that is?
It's just the season for fires. I know it's wet now, but it is, it's where most of the large fires are started during this period of time. Roger might be able to answer it a little more, but again, I know a lot of people like to burn the brush, but it's just, not that we're out there, enforcing everybody, but
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it.
there,
ground is still wet, but all the winter die-off is all dead grass and stuff on top, and that's gonna have moisture.
I learned something. Thank you.
anything else?
There you go. Thanks, Brian. Judy Blake, seniors. Hi, Judy.
I don't have a whole lot today. We had our St. Patrick's Day potluck on Friday. We have some excellent cooks, and 32 people signed up and came to that.
Wow.
And we're working on some ideas for entertainment. If anyone knows of any kind of entertainment that we could have come in to, entertain the ladies and gentlemen. And we have, they voted to go back to Classics 5 for our Christmas party this year.
Great.
That's it.
Thank you, Judy. Appreciate it. Anybody have anything for Judy? Fine. Thank you, Judy. Tim Zuber, Wendell Engineer.
Thank you. We have a few things on our agenda tonight, but they should be quick. The first one is our planning board report. Due to the way the schedules have fallen, that we've only had one meeting of the planning board since our last town board meeting. That was on March 6th, and there were no agenda items for that meeting, so the work session and the regular meeting were canceled. Our next meeting is actually this Wednesday, and there are some agenda items on there, so I'll be able to give you some thrilling summaries at the next board meeting. The next item on our agenda is the Cayuga Drive Extension Bridge Rehabilitation Recommendation of Award. As you recall, at our last meeting, we did the bid openings for the bridge rehabilitation project. We had one bid at $164,560, and the second bid was for $198,228. So we've reviewed the material and had conversations with Patterson-Stevens, and we are recommending award to them for their low bid price of $164,560. We do have a motion in the packet later on, but if there's any questions on that, I'm free to ask those two now or when the motions come up.
I think you and I have already talked about that, but maybe other guys have questions. All set? All right, thank you, Tim.
Okay, the last item on our agenda is again our Whitmore Road subdivision preliminary plat. Where we are in the process right now is the planning board has recommended to the town board. The town board did seeker, completed that process, scheduled the public hearing, which we had tonight. So the next step would be for the town board to entertain approval of the preliminary plat. And there is a motion in for that. The next step in the process is this would go back to the planning board one more time for the details of the final design, and then we'll come back to the town board one last time for approval of the final plat. So, if there's any questions on that? Okay, thank you.
Motions.
Okay,
Brooks.
yes. going back to the motions from Wendell that Tim had just referred to, the first one from Wendell, motion to award the Cayuga Drive Extension Bridge Rehabilitation Project, PIN 5762.16, BIN 2257310, contract 2018-2 to Patterson Stevens, Inc. for their low bid of $164,560.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by, yep, so.
Construction project, how much is that grant for and how much will be covered by the grant?
So the grant that we originally applied for was for $145,000. But as part of that grant, we had our construction estimate, which was $115,000, and then the engineering, design, bidding, construction, observation, and administration, which was $30,000. So that's how we got to the 145. So that is what the state approved. They're paying 95% of that, which is, I believe, $137.50. So anything above the $137.50 is what the town will be responsible for. And this is a reimbursement, so the town does have to pay that first, and then they're reimbursed by the state.
But it's 95% covered.
Up to that 145 mark.
So, good project to do.
It is. We had hoped that they'd been a little closer to our estimate, because we did all the DOT average item bid numbers. But after interviewing the low bidder, the state's numbers are really not representative. They're about $10 to $15 a square foot of the applying of the shotcrete than pretty much anybody else in the industry is doing. So we follow the DOT's rules of using their numbers, and kind of hit us a little.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
We had a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried.
Again, the next motion from Wendell, whereas the town of Wheatfield has proposed a major subdivision for their town-owned property on Whitmer Road, SBL number 162.00-3-6.12, to be known as the Whitmer Road subdivision. And whereas the subdivision would consist of 10 single-family residential lots fronting on Whitmer Road and a remaining parcel which will remain the town of Wheatfield. And whereas the Wheatfield Town Board referred the preliminary plat to the Planning Board and received their input and recommendation, and the Planning Board meetings were open to the public to allow for input. And whereas the town of Wheatfield Town Board issued a negative declaration on February 11, 2019 in accordance with seeker requirements, whereas the town of Wheatfield Board has held the required public hearing on March 18, 2019 and received public comment. Now therefore be it resolved that the Wheatfield Town Board approves the preliminary plat for the Whitmer Road subdivision.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried.
Next motion, to appoint Marshall Chapin to a 5-year term to the Board of Assessment Review, said term to expire on September 30th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Next motion from the Budget Director, to accept the proposal from Armory Associates LLC for actuarial services for the Governmental Accounting Standard Board, Statement Number 75, other post-employment benefits other than pensions at the proposed cost of $3,200 for the year ending December 31st, 2018, and $1,400 for the year ending December 31st, 2019, for a total cost of $4,600, and to authorize the supervisor to sign any applicable agreement or contract subject to the approval of the town attorney.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried.
The next motion in the packet about receiving conveyance of property from the county, I believe the town board has indicated we're going to hold that.
I'd like to make a motion to table this.
Second.
Do we have a chance to talk to the highway superintendent about it? Sorry, Paul. A motion to table this. We have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Next motion from the Highway Department to allow Highway Department Superintendent and Deputy Superintendent to attend the Cornell Highway School in Ithaca June 3rd through 5th, 2019, and all costs related to it, i.e. registration and hotel.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next motion again from the Highway Department to authorize and allow the following Highway Department employees to attend the following local road highway school classes. The sign class, Niagara County, April 4th, 2019, Nick Lafredo and Glenn Laufer. The drainage class in Orleans County, April 23rd, 2019, Tim Steiner and Jeff DeVetier. And the paving class, Erie County, May 16th, 2019, Jim Donner and Bruce Mack.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion again from the Highway Department to hire David Worley for summer seasonal work at the Highway Department at a rate of pay and job terms pursuant to this job specifications for the Highway Department, subject to Human Resource Department approval and a Niagara County criminal background check.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion again, Highway Department to hire Justin Dorzanski for summer seasonal work at the Highway Department at a rate of pay and job terms pursuant to the job specifications for the Highway Department, subject to Human Resource approval and Niagara County criminal background check.
So moved.
Second. A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion, and I will just read the heading due to the length. It's going to be as presented as in the motion package, but it is a bond resolution of the Town Board of the Town of Wheatfield, Niagara County, New York, the town authorizing the acquisition of existing streetlights throughout the town and the installation of energy-efficient light-emitting diode fixtures, stating the maximum estimated cost thereof is $1,300,000, appropriating said amount therefore and authorizing the issuance of up to $1,300,000 in serial bonds of the town to finance said appropriation.
Okay, before we put it to a motion, Kurt, do you want to take a few minutes to talk about this?
Yeah, so what this is all about is...
By the way, I want to explain that Kurt has been the gentleman doing the work on the LED lighting and helping me out tremendously, Kurt, and I appreciate that. So with that.
Yeah, so this is all about allowing us to take next steps when it comes to securing financing in order to fund the buyout of our existing high-pressure sodium infrastructure for lights and then convert to LED. It doesn't really bind us to accept the funding, but it really just, what it's saying is, we're getting serious about it. And the financing that we have looked at and what we're estimating does look very favorable, to say the least. It looks like the town will be able to secure at least a 15-year loan. We're looking at 15 and 20-year options. Both of those options will allow us to be cash flow positive right out of the gate. So we're pretty excited about that. We have a conference call coming up this week with NYPA, that's the New York Power Authority, and that's essentially to get updates from everybody else in Niagara County who's going to be participating in the aggregation to find out kind of where they're at. So things are starting to move. It's looking favorable, and I'm excited that we're starting to see some movement here.
And Kurt, again, I want to thank you for your efforts. One of the things we had talked about a little earlier tonight, that even just an estimate, the first year, we're looking at saving approximately $55,000. And that's even with the loan, and each year will get better. And do you know what the final outcome will be after the 15 years? What was the approximate?
Yeah, so if we go with a 15-year financing option, at the end, we'll be saving over $100. And we're, until we get that final financing figure for what the interest rate is going to be, we don't know, but it'll be well over $100,000 per year. So significant financial gain for the town for sure.
For the taxpayer, so that'll be a great thing. And again, thank you, Kurt. Okay. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. Okay, second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next motion is, again, I won't read the whole thing to save time, but it is a motion to approve modifications to the Town of Wheatfield Personnel Manual as follows, which is listed in the package. And basically, as a summary, this is just to move forward with certain modifications that are exactly similar to the modifications and changes that were done in the union contract for the town to make our non-union employees on an equal footing with these benefits that the union employees have.
I'll make the motion.
Second. A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Then we have two supplemental motions. The first one is to require two Town of Wheatfield fire companies to respond to all calls for reported structure fires within the town.
Okay, what was that again? I'm sorry? Okay.
This was the motion to require two Town of Wheatfield fire companies. Yep.
As one of the private chiefs of the town, I would ask if the board would table this for the next meeting. I have some information, I think, for the effective wording. I'll draft that motion.
Okay, I mean, we can do that. It's not a problem. I mean, it's not something we have to do tonight. But, you know, the town board has already had a resolution on the books in 2007, which stated that all fire calls, not structure fires. So we modified that to, we thought would be to benefit the fire company. But if you'd like to put it on hold, we can do that. So let's have a motion to hold this motion until we discuss it with Brian and maybe some of the other chiefs.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. So we'll put it on hold now. No problem.
Okay, and then the second supplemental motion is a motion by the town board to raise the Town of Wheatfield Zoning Board of Appeals member salaries to equal that of the Town of Wheatfield Planning Board members effective July 1st, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
And that is it for the motions this evening.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Larry Hellwood.
First question is town attorney. I know you're interns here. I don't know whether you've been working on the annexation piece of property along River Road. How's the status? Is there any status? Or?
For the boundary annexation survey.
Yeah.
Yes. We have, sort of a, not really a term, but a deadline on March 1st to notify, the federal government of the change of boundaries, and we sent in the, paperwork to do that, so they're aware there's a boundary change coming. In response to that, there's several ways you can update them on the boundary change. You can either, do it electronically, and Ken and Wendell has been helping explore that option of electronic stuff, or they also give the option of doing on paper maps, and they sent us all their paperwork to do on paper maps, and in fact, they even sent us red pencils from the federal government to actually mark up the paper map. However, this is the size of the map and the scale of the map is such that in doing the paper map, it's very difficult because the width of the red line that we use is probably the distance of the annexation. So, and then Tim can explain a little bit, but he has people in his survey or CIS department that are going to hopefully be able to do it electronically to submit that annexation as we can also have to do it on paper map. Because based on the scale of the map, you put that an inch of an inch on this map, and it actually translates to hundreds of feet on the ground. So, but that's small of an annexation, it's very difficult to do it larger.
Yeah, it's only a 3-acre parcel, and the maps that they send us have, instead of a line showing the town boundary, they're dots, and I think each one of the dots is about 3 acres inside. So to try to do an outline of the size of that, just doesn't make sense on a paper map. It seems like the paper maps are meant more to following parcel lines on a tax map, where you cross out the old ones, put the new ones on there. So our GIS department, the same ones that upkeep the town's website, GIS website, I know they have downloaded the data, the shapefile data from the BAS site, and they are working right now to see how quickly and easily that they can just get that new boundary on there. Then it should be a quick process of just uploading it back up to their site.
Sorry to be a pain, but I know this 2020 census is coming up, and next month, I think in April, we get a 20-day period to update any addresses that the town put in for address corrections and additions for the census, because we want to make sure that every household is counted in Wheatfield.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're all based on tax dollars, so Niagara County tax pays our whole town budget, so we need to make sure we count everybody that we can be counted.
So we need to make sure that those 3 lots are on our list.
It's probably only about another 10 people, but we want our population to increase so that, our tax dollars from the county, Dave Godfrey, would get bigger and more dollars.
I think I'm going to put on that everybody that Gary myself and a couple of us today that counted, but yes, it would be really good as well if you really well anyway that we like to judge people based on that. But we should be able to update it because this is an annexation that took place.
Right. And the VAS update is an annual thing. Like every year, they send out an inquiry, or you're sending your form saying no, we haven't had any changes, or we have. It's not following the same every 10 year with the census. But yeah, we're getting that caught up from
the annexation
the
took
90s.
place before Matt took office as town attorney, and it probably should have been completed maybe 15 years ago, but wasn't.
Yes.
So
Right.
now we're playing catch up.
Right.
Yeah, that's correct, because I wasn't aware, because I had, upon becoming the town attorney, I was sending that every year, indicating to the best of my knowledge that after 2 years, we had not had any increase in the past 25 years.
Yeah. You were correct at that, because we haven't had any since you've been here.
But they're aware changes coming, and it's either going to be submitted on the paper map, or more likely through the digital computers. It could be a lot more precise.
Anything else, Larry?
That's all I have. Thank you.
Joe Bissett.
I've got some correspondence from Adams Fire Hall.
Okay.
They'd like to add Jennifer Mitchell, Jessica Facino, Daniel Drixus, and Christian Fear to their roster. I'll make that motion.
Second. A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Anything else, Joe?
I also have correspondence from St. Johnsburg Fire Company. They'd like to remove Stan Swoger, Zach Petricone, Sean Jasper, Tyler Couch, Adam DeFelici, Fred Olson, Larry Treichler, Robert Roth, and Mark Cole from their roster. And in the same correspondence, they'd like to add Gary Strankowski as a supporting member. And I'll make that motion.
Second. There's a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And that's it then.
Kurt Doctor.
Yeah, the Comprehensive Plan Task Force, which is our group of volunteers, we have a meeting coming up this week. Our energy group is going to be meeting with Verizon, and we're going to be talking about their plans for 5G networks in the town. And we want to kind of use that to help us inform some updates that we're working on our telecommunications law. And I see Zach Carr in the back there. Zach's part of our energy group. So we have a limited amount of time here over the next month. We have until April 15th. But we've already got a really good jump on the law updates and a proposal. So I feel pretty good that maybe in the next board meeting we might be able to put something forth.
Because of the April 15th deadline to have the law in place.
Yep. We're going to have to do something the first meeting in April.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
It's
because
going to have to be the next meeting.
we're going to have to schedule a public hearing. then we'll have to adopt law, and we should all have an opportunity to look at it. I mean, I'm sure fees are involved, yes, and locations, things like this is all in the law.
It'll be a part of it, correct.
Great. All right, so, and you have a meeting tomorrow night?
The meeting is tomorrow, yes.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, and Randy is off. I just have a couple things tonight. One, we received good news from New York State today that the AIM money that Governor Cuomo was planning on taking away from many municipalities, most of the supervisors, or I would guess that 100% of the supervisors, sent letters to the governor requesting they do not remove the AIM money. And in fact, the letter says today that they will, that they're going to go elsewhere to get the money that they need for their deficit. So it will save the town $55,000 that they're not going to take from us. So that's a good thing. And also, from our budget director, we received a positive letter, the Town Wheatfield financial report. And I'm just going to give little pieces of it here, but I'm pleased to announce that in 2018, total revenues exceeded total expenses for all budgetary funds and special districts. The excess revenue over the 2018 was a result of several significant factors. One, we had the increase in sales tax, which for the town was $4,809,774 as compared to $4,437,053 in 2017, an increase of $372,201. And I won't go into other things, but some of the other factors, water rates, increase in water rates and the use of water because of the hot, dry summer also brought in additional funds. Also, the reduced spending and the sale of the parcel of property that we sold on Ontario Avenue brought in $105,733. So we do have a surplus for the first time in many years, and we actually brought in more money than we spent. And this letter is available to be reviewed at any time. So that's good news. Other than that, I have nothing. Next meeting is April 1st, 2019. Okay. Are you going to be ready?
Yeah, we have to be. We have no choice.
Let's schedule a public hearing for April. Oh, you have by April 1st, right?
Well, the deadline to get the law on the books is the 15th, so we really have to get it. Yeah.
So we'll have Kurt. We'll have to have a draft law by then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's make a motion to schedule a public hearing for April 1st. At 7 o'clock to review the telecommunications law.
Yep.
Can I have I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So April 1st will be the 7 o'clock. We should have some copies available, Kurt, to review also. Okay, any other additional public input, anything we discussed tonight? Come on down, Rita.
I have two things. First, I would like to thank our highway and water departments for working together to get out to the citizenship in our water bills the delineation of the responsibilities of the highway department when it comes to all those great things that a lot of us don't understand that they do. It was great to see that, and I want to thank you. Second of all, as a member of the Comprehensive Task Force, I would like to make mention of the fact that on March 30th, we're having an event here, well, it's at the Community Center in Room 3 from 12 to 2 as a follow-up to the motion that the town passed last February 2018, that is, to support the Think Differently initiative, which acknowledges the need to be supportive of people with autism and special needs. We will be having agency representatives from 4 agencies that will be putting up displays, and we're hoping to have a good turnout because that is also the same day that there's a big event going on in the large room. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do you have little handouts or something we can post here at the town hall?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be coming this week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah, that's another thing. Just as a reminder, March 30th, the results for the Niagara sanitation testing from DEC will be at the town hall from 11 to 3, I believe. I think it's 11 to 3. We'll probably have many North Tonawanda residents here and probably some Wheatfield residents too, but the test results were very favorable for the town of Wheatfield, and let's hope this may help us when it comes to some of these lawsuits. But the results will be made available the 30th at the community center. And
John, I have a question. Is it session so that people can come in and ask questions and,
Well,
there's
it is
more displays, huh?
Well, but they also will have people available if they have any questions about the results, where the tests were done. They're going to set up displays, but they're going to have a full group of people here to answer any questions they may have.
Okay.
And that's why they'll be here from 11 to 3. And we also have 2 of our counselors going to be there too, and 2 of their DEC officers, just in case, for whatever reason, things get out of control. So, March 30th, same day.
Saturday.
Saturday, yes. And that should be in the large room. Okay, so anyone else? Yes, Dave.
Yes, one additional announcement. The Niagara County Office of the Aging is looking for community members to be on their committee, on their board. So if anyone is interested in that, you can see me after. If you know somebody after this meeting, get a hold of Kathy, you can get a hold of me directly. But this is the Office of the Aging is looking for community input, people from the community to be part of that.
Thank you, Dave. Motion to adjourn? A motion and a second. All in favor, say